Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Great Scott. Today I'm going to jump around a little bit because there are a number of things going on. Some things have been announced online, some things are going on with personal discussions I've been having about Superman and Man of Steel and sequels. Currently on the Superman homepage we have a list of domain titles that have apparently been registered by Warner Brothers that might give us an idea of the actual titles that they might be thinking about using for Man of Steel, or maybe they just took these domain names for no other, just so nobody else took them, I don't know. Man of Steel, Battle of the Night. Man of Steel, Beyond Darkness. We have Black of Night, Darkness Falls, Shadow of Night, and the best one is The Blackest Hour. They all have Man of Steel before them with a little colon and then the title after, or I think they've been registered also without the Man of Steel included in front of them. What I like about The Blackest Hour is that it seems like the idea behind this is, well, because he's facing a human in possible armor with a bat on his chest, it might be his blackest hour ever. This is a guy who is a superpowered Kryptonian who fought other superpowered Kryptonians and saved the entire world on his first time out. And now they want us to buy into the idea that his blackest hour will be when Batman punches him or something along those lines. The Snyder did say that they will have some physical altercations. In my mind, it should be one physical altercation, and it should be putting Batman in his place and telling him that there's nothing he could do, even if Superman was evil. And I know, in the comics he collects kryptonite, and Superman even asks him to watch him and make sure that if he gets out of hand, he has the kryptonite ready so he can take care of him. But here's the thing. Once you're Superman and you know he has the kryptonite so he can take care of you, you just stay far enough away and blow him away with your heat vision, or throw a stone on him, or drop him off a cliff really fast. And just as the kryptonite's about to affect you, he falls to his death and then you're fine. There's just no way, unless you're completely surprised or asleep or in bed, or you don't know someone's coming, of course he has super hearing, that Superman should ever be taken out by Batman with kryptonite. Unless he snuck in, and that would be if Batman somehow knew he was turning evil and got him before he could. Anyway, I really hope there isn't a ton of physical altercation. I think it undoes what Man of Steel already showed us Kryptonians are capable of. To fight Batman one-on-one, no matter what kind of armor he's wearing, would just be silly. We saw a super-powered Zod in armor, beating up Superman, and Superman beating him up, and both of them just getting back up, so a human in armor, even the most powerful armor known to mankind, which isn't much right now, that a man can wear, would be insane for them to have a battle. Some other things we had going on is this producer, Roven, has been speaking about Man of Steel and about Batman, the new Superman movie. His name is Charles Roven, and he I guess was involved in Man of Steel, and he's now going to be involved in the new movie. And what he says is that their intention was to bring Superman in the 21st century with making him a contemporary character and a different kind of superhero than what's out there right now. And we felt we accomplished our goals with that. They also were trying to set the stage for the next film. And what I find strange about that is, if you're setting stage for the next film, normally you'll actually have some hints about what's going to go on in the next film. You'll actually have some setup going on. Now, yeah, there were some Easter eggs around, but we also had other Easter eggs that don't relate to Batman. We had the Wayne Labs or the Wayne Industries or whatever floating in space satellite that they hit that you could barely see. It goes by in a wink. You had to know it was there. You had to know to be looking for it, and even then, most people still missed it. You can freeze it now on DVD, as I'm sure you're all doing as you listen to the Superman homepage commentary with me and Steve that we just put up this week, as you're watching your brand new Man of Steel disc, and as you watch it in the weeks and years to come. So we might have gotten the idea that Batman or Bruce Wayne was at least in the same universe, but that didn't tell us that they were going to do a movie where it appears Batman's going to outshine Superman and really be involved in a heavy, heavy way. So much so that the title reflects that it's so dark because he's going to meet Batman and possibly get his get his ass handed to him, or at least get into a physical altercation with someone who oftentimes in the comic books is considered an equal or a better in every way than Superman, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But however they go is how they're going to go, and the reason why I think it's very possible Batman's going to play a much larger role than I think he should, for it being a Man of Steel sequel, and why I don't think it's a sequel and rather just a continuation of the universe with both of these characters in a new movie where they're involved together in either an equal or Batman greater way, is because we're hearing about Nightwing, we're hearing about women being cast that are going to be Batman's love interest, we're hearing about a possible Wonder Woman, we're hearing about all of the Gotham City football teams that are going to beat up on Metropolis football teams. All of this seems to indicate that there's a ton of things going on for Batman, or that could be going on for Batman, or that could involve Batman, and we really haven't heard anything about how Clark's story is going to move forward, other than the fact that he's going to meet Batman, and seemingly, because of that, it's going to be his darkest hour. Anyway, you know how I feel. I don't mind Batman being involved. I like the idea of a shared universe. I kind of wanted DC to get to that, but I don't know, and I've said this before, I definitely didn't want them to get to it at the expense of the continuation of Clark's story. Another discussion I've been having is, you know, there was a whole big deal when Cavill was cast because he was British, and he was being cast to play an American character, and a bunch of people got upset about it, and some people were saying, don't worry about it, who cares? If they're a good actor, anybody can play anything. And what I have always said is it doesn't matter whether you're black or white or Asian. It doesn't matter whether you're an actor from Britain. It doesn't matter whether you're an actor from Russia. It doesn't matter whether you're an actor from America. There are good actors in every race. There are good actors of every nationality. There are good and bad and middling and somewhere in between actors, performers, from everywhere. So if you know, it's the same with casting Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. If they auditioned people and they met with people and they had always thought about Lawrence Fishburne and they thought he was a great actor, and when he came in and read a scene or two as Perry, he was really convincing and believable, and he was Perry to them, and I thought he was fantastic in the movie. Their thought was, listen, we're casting the best actor that we feel fits the character that we're presenting in this version. Same thing with Cavill being cast as Superman. Yes, he looked the part, and yes, he's a very, very attractive guy, but he also pulled off a great character with a lot of emotion that we haven't seen in a lot of Superman movies. I realized Christopher Reeve had a lot of charm and everybody loved him, but there wasn't a lot. I don't believe there was a lot of depth or acting or a sense of heavy emotion coming from most Superman movies before this. I thought Man of Steel was very deep, and I thought Cavill handled it very, very well. As an example of how American actors are all just hired for their looks and have no talent and no training, someone brought up Tom Welling, and clearly that he was hired because he was pretty and he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. This is another thing that I've heard before, and to those of you who know how I felt about Smallville as it went on over the years, you might find it surprising that I would say this, but I thought Tom Welling was just fine. He started off a little green, and he was green, and he was young, and he hadn't been acting. He was a model. Okay, so those things do happen to fit with the argument that I'm hearing that Americans are hired from modeling runways and because they're good looking. But he got better as time went on, and anybody who hasn't done something before, maybe not anybody, some people are completely natural, take a little time to learn. And I thought Welling was just fine. He went through a lot of emotions in that show. He went through a lot of character growth and stuff, even though the show kind of seemed to stagnate for a while. He was believable as a confident, sometimes not confident, strong, sometimes weak, sad, sometimes happy guy. He went through every possible emotion on 10 years of a program, and I thought he did just fine. I don't know that he's an Academy Award-winning actor. I don't know if we're going to see a lot more of him. And yeah, he didn't have training, and he did come from a modeling school, but to defend him, I thought he did a fine job, especially as time went on. And I will say that even though I'm not personally offended, it can be offensive if you lump an entire group of people into one type of stereotype. In this case, American actors have no talent, no training, and are only hired for their looks. If you look at American television, for instance, most people on there now are hired to look more normal, to look more like they're of the regular population, that they're not beautiful. And there's a lot of great acting going on there. And most of Superman's surrounding Earth cast in Man of Steel is made up of American actors, and I thought they all did a wonderful job. I'd like to say I'm still really looking forward to the sequel or Batman Superman movie that we're going to get, but I am looking forward to it, but I'm very trepidatious, I'm very concerned, and I don't think, you know how I think, you know, I don't think they should go in a certain way that they seem to be indicating they're going to go. Thanks everybody for watching, and remember, always look up in the sky.